Coach, obviously you come away with a win after a tough loss on the road. Just what stood out just between the efforts in the first and the second half?
Yeah, I feel that was a letdown when we found out at the tip-off that Joel Embiid was not going to be playing tonight. I think there was a collective, and when you do that in this business, you can make for an interesting game like today. So first off, give them credit. I mean, those guys, Batum, Morris, Paul Reed, Kelly Oubre, Patrick Beverly, all the guys, those guys played outstanding. And they gave us, we're lucky to come out of here with a win today, let's be honest. For 3 quarters, we guarded nobody. Just bottom line, we didn't play any defense for 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, we held them to 17 points. They shot 29 from the field. And we had 0 turnovers that quarter. And that started with the bench unit. Start the fourth, we're down 2. And I think it was Jamal, Reggie, CB, Peyton, DJ. We start off on a 10-4 run, take the lead back. And the starters came in and did enough to get the win. But coming off of a really long road trip, the first game at home is usually the hardest game, especially when it's a matinee special like today. So wasn't pretty, not satisfied with it, but it sure beats a loss.
Who told you that Embiid wasn't going to play and how close to tip was it when you found out?
Woj called me. Like that, somebody in the back like that. We found out very late, and again, I don't know how you go from being active, available, to out. And I'm sure the league will do their due diligence, and because that's frowned upon. And we've had situations this year where we've talked to the league, and they told us if a player goes from being active to out, there's going to be an investigation. So, I'm sure that'll happen. And I'm sure that Joel hurt his knee in the Indiana game. Like, that's real. We watched the game. He hurt his knee in that Indiana game. So I'm sure he is hurt. But it's just really tough when a player and a team that, like us, preparing for them, and then all of a sudden, last minute, he's out. But we have to do a better job of handling those situations. And I felt we did. Jamal made the three threes in a row. We're up 10. I think everybody's like, oh, yeah, there's going to be a cakewalk today. Well, it wasn't a cakewalk. This was a tough win. And, again, not satisfied, but it definitely beats losing.
You touched on it, but just as a competitor, is there sort of a level of disappointment when you do find out about that at the last second? Nick Nurse coaches the Philadelphia 76ers. I have no idea what's going on in their locker room. I used to work with a guy, Don Chaney, and one of the opposing teams was making comments about our team, and Don said, well, he's got my vote for Coach of the Year because he can coach his team and my team. I'm not going to do that. Yes, it was a big letdown for the national TV audience not to get Nikola Embiid, but I just want our guys to play well. And so the 2 positives today, we won and nobody got hurt.
Peyton Watson played really well in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Plays and showed not only that it managed the tempo, slowed it down, and pushed on a possession to get a 3. What have you seen from him in terms of taking more and more steps lately, not just in his role, but expanding also?
No, I agree, Matt. I thought he was really good tonight. And the impact of the game, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And he had some really good defensive possessions, and so we all want to say that, you want to put somebody, in this one hole, like he's a defender. And I think what Peyton's showing is, no, I can help this team on both ends of the floor. And I love when he plays downhill, puts pressure on the basket to score or to find a teammate. He's got confidence in his 3-point shot. So, I think Peyton was really good with that unit. And it was, just watching his development, through a little more than halfway through the season, pretty impressed with how far he's come from last year to this point. And what really excites everybody is how much better he can get. So, kudos to Peyton for the job he's done.
You told me once that these are the kind of spots when guys are out that you've seen those letdown spots over and over again. When you found out that Embiid was out, was the first thing through your mind like, oh, here we go? Like,
yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
And, I went out to the bench, there's 2 minutes on the clock, guys are still warming up. And I was trying to grab guys individually, like, hey, man, no letdowns. And Aaron Gordon's like, what are you talking about? I said, Embiid's not playing. So our players didn't know. They're on the court warming up. And so, you prepare mentally to get ready for a fight against a really good team and a MVP candidate. And then he's not there, and Maxi's not there, and Tobias isn't there, and all these other guys are. And, you're fighting human nature at that point. On top of the fatigue mentally and physically from coming back from an 11-game road trip, getting back at 3 in the morning and playing at 3 o'clock today. So you put all that together and you get a game like today. So we found enough ways to get the stops and the win, and that's all that matters.
Coach, well, how do you think you get Christian, playing back to that level he might have been at last year?
Yeah, well, I think for Christian Braun to play really well, we've got to be better defensively. He's got to be better defensively. We have to be better defensively, because tonight, for 3 quarters, we were taking the ball out of the net over and over and over again. And I think one of the Christian strengths as a player, and the reason I'm talking about that part of it, Harrison, is he's a very good open court player. But if we're not getting stops and rebounds and runouts, now we're a half-court team. And I think, not that Christian can't be effective in the half court, but I think you're taking away one of the areas that can really impact. And then for him, it's just, again, like, he's got to be defensively just like a pest, an irritant. And he's got to be able to lock guys down and have game plan discipline and get out and run and finish and make plays for other people. Get on the offensive glass, get us some extra possessions. Those are the types of plays that we need from Christian. And I have no doubt that he's ready to do that for us. But we just got to find it, to your point, just probably a little bit more consistently.
One more.
Jamal had 20 points in the first half and then 3 in the second. Just wonder what you saw from that, and was it a somatic thing, or was it something they needed to bring a little bit better?
No, I mean, we said it right when we found out that all those guys were out with Embiid, and Nick Nurse is a very good coach, won a championship in Toronto. We knew they were going to try to junk the game up, and so they had smalls on bigs, bigs on smalls. They went to a box and one on Jamal, making it really hard for him. And what was great is that they went to the box and one. And I felt in that fourth quarter, when Nicole was out, they went to that to try to, cut Jamal off. He didn't fight it. We got Michael Porter off. We got other guys involved. So just kind of reading the game, and we see with Nicola all the time, when Jamal's getting that kind of attention, it's really hard to play 1-on-3. So that's where he's got to trust his teammates and just continue to make the right reads. And, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers is a very good number. And the one thing I did not want to have happen is, you lose a game and all the free throws that we missed tonight. That was, I think we were 24-38, so we got there a ton, but left way too many points at the free throw line tonight, which could have come back to bite us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
Jamal and Nicole.